it's time for our news of the week. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Who brings the news to you? That's Eagle Mortgage. Eagle Mortgage Company. It is under the leadership of Holly Schneiderwind, who does a fantastic job of taking care of Eagle Mortgage clients. So buying a house, one of the biggest purchases most people ever make, and you want to make sure you do it right. You want to make sure you feel good about it, and Eagle Mortgage will help you. They are not a bank. They are not beholden to a bank. They can shop the market and find the best lending solution for you, and they'll do that. So it doesn't matter whether you go FHA, VA, or if you want to do a conventional loan. They even do some specialty loans as well. And you can find them in person at 114th and Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. All right, gentlemen, the first story of the week is down in the riverfront area. We're going to be talking about The Beam, which is a 17-story building that New Style Development is going to construct along the northern edge of Heartland of America Park. And we're also going to talk about the new Children's Museum, which is planned for the same area. An agreement between the city and the Omaha Children's Museum will be reviewed by the city council over the next few sessions. In fact, they had a reading just last week, but the Children's Museum will be at 8th and Douglas, hugging the south side of the I-480 overpass. It will be 75,000 square feet. The current location at 20th and Howard is 60,000 square feet, so it'll be a growing sort of situation, so they can add more exhibit space and do some new features. We're going to have a cafe and a couple other cool things. At any rate, under the agreement, the city will lease land to the museum for 99 years. Construction will begin in 2025, and the completion date is anticipated to be 2027. Meanwhile, before we analyze this, though, the Beam is also going before the planning board next week, and that is the New Style Development that we already referred to. This revolves around getting their tax increment financing, and that project, we now know the total cost is estimated to be $87 million, and the estimated completion date is March of 2028. Moving forward with both of those projects, it also involves 2 city-owned parking garages. It's going to be quite the place.
I like it. I think that it's a great use of a very narrow space, and it's a better location for the Children's Museum. It'll have parking, a residential component, and it's just an addition on everything that we're doing down there.
And it's going to look super cool. I mean, that's one of the neat things is how visible it's going to be to everyone that comes to our city. And I also like how much land it's going to open up for redevelopment down on the southwest end of downtown.
Oh, yeah, because when the current Children's Museum vacates that area, yeah, that would be an area that would be totally primed for residential development, like a lot of those 8 to 10-story type residential buildings. But both of you talked about, how it'll look and how it'll fill that small spot that's right there. One of the things we want to do with the new plan, and the streetcar makes this much more possible, is to have tremendous density because there is no better form of development for making a city's infrastructure kick off a lot of tax revenue than dense downtown style development. And so to put that many apartments and that many visitors and that much activity on what right now, when you drive by, it seems like a throwaway piece of land, is pretty darn impressive.
And that piece of land's been empty since they built 480, as far as I know, back in the, what would that be, the 50s?
Yeah. I think I wasn't around, but I think 480 was late 50s? Maybe it was the 60s before that part was completed. I might have to check my Omaha history.
So we're going to make use of a piece of land that's been empty for a long time.
But the other thing, when it comes to design, and the one thing about these philanthropic and public buildings, like the addition to the Jocelyn, which is free, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at that, there's an aerial on Facebook from the Jocelyn, the shape of that building, there's not many square right corners. It is so cool how the building just kind of floats. And same thing with this Children's Museum on the look of it. Just make it nice.
Yeah, I think both the rendering of the Children's Museum and the Joslyn addition to which you referred look great. Now, I've not been in the inside yet. I still need to get in there, but I know, Trenton, you've been in the inside of the Joslyn.
It's just as cool. The ceiling's not flat; it flows. They did a great job in connecting it to the original portion, and well worth it.
Well, we have progress at Heartwood Preserve. Olson is building a 4-story office building that will be part of the row at Heartwood Preserve. This will be kind of like a little part of that whole development that'll remind you of Exarban Village. Overall, Heartwood Preserve is a 500-acre development that goes from West Dodge Road on the north to about a half mile south of Pacific Street on the south. And, it surrounds 3 parts of Millard North High School. We already have offices there for Carson and Union Bank and the world headquarters of Valmont. We got Charleston's and Mahogany. There's a lot more to come. But this 4-story building will be the first building of this kind of central walkable village part of it that I already mentioned is called The Row. We'll have 300 employees in there. Completion is due for 2026. And in addition to that building, you are going to have a multifamily residential building and a 4-star hotel and a lot more, but those are already on the drawing board.
Well, already go into that Gunderson's. It's got a big mezzanine for the nuptials and weddings and things like that. That Gunderson's jewelry store is just as nice as anything in Omaha. I mean, it is beautiful. They've done a great job. Then the next door to that is the new 30 hop or 40 hop?
30 hop.
30 hop. We went to a soft opening of that. It was delicious. And above that is the private club, Apiary or
Apiary?
Apiary, thank you.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times with a friend. That place is beautiful, and I recommend checking it out, maybe joining. But for me, it's kind of like having a friend with a pickup truck. Like I have a couple friends that belong there.
Probably not a lot of pickup trucks going to Apiary, are there?
No, but when you need a pickup truck, it's better to have a friend that has one or a boat.
Amen. Elkhorn Training Camp is expanding to Gretna. The organization has started building Phase 1, which is a 35,000 square foot indoor training center, which will have 11 batting cages, 10,000 square feet of open turf, and a 5,000 square foot performance center for strength and conditioning. The facility is located in the Gretna Landing development, big development northwest of 192nd and Highway 370. This Elkhorn Training Camp already has a 60,000 square foot building, appropriately enough, in Elkhorn at 715 North 210th Street. But guys, this is just one of many things going into this Gretna Landing project. Already, several things are open, and right now you have an Aldi store under construction, a very large apartment complex. There's an Arby's and a couple other pad site users like that are coming along. And then eventually, they don't seem to be in a hurry, but eventually Fleet Farm is going to be building in that area. And then if you look at the rendering that they have for Gretna Landing on the north side, one of the renderings says medical campus.
Right.
The other rendering says corporate campus. So something big.
I think an out-of-town group bought a bunch of land there from Access Commercial.
I say there's a couple different areas out there on that 370 corridor that you see medical campus kind of labeled on some preliminary site plans. So.
Yeah, but then one I saw just recently said corporate campus.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was basically a different wording for the same thing or if there's something else in the works, but we will find out. We're going to keep our eye on that, and we will let you know. All right, last story for this week's news section. Cool story. This will make you feel really good about what we're doing here in Nebraska with our Nebraska economy. Google has invested $930 million in our state just in 2024. That large capital investment has gone toward projects like the massive data center at 120th and State Street, part of which is already operational, but they're still going to build a lot more there. And then they also earlier this year started construction of a Lincoln data center on the north side of town, north of Interstate 80. Also, Google has revealed it has provided a $250,000 grant to the NU System for Artificial Intelligence Research and similar grants to Creighton University and the Lincoln Public School District. So Google keeps going forward in Nebraska. They already have a huge Papillion data center, which is up and operating and pretty much done, I think.
Not to mention the 1,000 acres they have down in south of Council Bluffs,
which they are still expanding. And, that doesn't count because it's Iowa, but they're still expanding that project quite a bit. So I assume they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars in 2024 on the Council Bluffs side as well. At any rate, that is your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.